name is Raf. Welcome to Blender for Fundamentals. On the screen right now you'll see some examples of my work. I've been using Blender 3D for a number of years and mostly work in education. By the end of this course, my hope is that you'll develop a fundamental understanding of the core features of the program, and from there you can undertake your own pursuits to specialize knowledge as however you like. In addition, you'll be able to create 3D graphics and animation from start to finish. What you'll need, ideally, a 3-button mouse, which is a mouse that has the scroll wheel in the middle, and a keyboard that has a number pad. If you don't have either of those things, we will cover some workarounds in a future video. As we work through the videos, shortcut keys will be shown in green, and you can also see the shortcuts within the main Blender window. So let's have a look at how we navigate in 3D. If we go to the View menu at the top of a 3D viewport, we can access some view controls here. For instance, we can go to a top view. If we go View, Viewpoint, Top, and we're now looking at our scene from top view. View, Viewpoint, Camera lets us view through the camera. Shortcut keys listed here. We've got number pad 1 to view from front, number pad 3 to view from side, number pad 7 to view from top, number pad 0 to look through the camera. Numpad 5 lets us swap between perspective and orthographic views. These two views and the reasons we use them we'll cover in a later video. Let's have a look at the mouse controls. Middle mouse button, if we scroll it, we zoom the view. If we hold it, we rotate the view. And when we rotate the view, you can see the camera come into the picture here. If we hold down Shift and middle mouse button, then we can pan the view. So by default, we have a scene with a cube and a camera. We can delete these when we get started if we wish to, if we want to start with a blank scene. Or you might find, because most scenes have a camera, keep the camera and the cube can serve as a good starting point for building models. The Blender interface is broken into a number of editor windows, which I'm highlighting now. Each of these windows you can resize if you move the mouse near the dividing line between windows, and then you can drag. You can change windows by clicking on the icon in the top left corner of the window and changing the selection. By default, we have a 3D editor window here, a properties window here, and an outline window here showing the outline of our scene, camera and cube, and a timeline window down the bottom which lets us play and pause, rewind and scrub through an animation if we're building animations. The mouse will have a different effect depending on where it is located on the screen. For instance, if my mouse is hovered in the 3D viewport and I scroll the mouse wheel, I can zoom the view. If my mouse is over the timeline and I scroll the view, I'm zooming in and out of my timeline. If I have the mouse over a panel that is not fully visible and scroll the mouse, I can scroll through. Likewise, shortcut keys. If we press A while my cursor is in the 3D viewport, it selects everything, select all. Incidentally, you can double tap A to deselect. If I press A on a flyout menu, the effect is that it will open and close the menu. Blender provides a number of pre-configured workspaces which you will find listed at the top of the screen, and these just give us pre-configured window layouts and settings for various modes of operation for different things that we might want to be doing in 3D space. I'm going to very quickly go over each one. Bear in mind that we will go over the details covered here in more detail in a later video. This is just to give you an overview of what these workspaces are intended for. The The modelling workspace is useful when you want to work with a model's geometry. The sculpting workspace lets us sculpt meshes much like you would sculpt clay. The UV editing workspace is where we define how our model is unwrapped into a 2D plane. This is a little bit like a sewing pattern for a shirt. This is a cube that's been laid out flat, and we use this to apply materials. This leads into the texture paint workspace, which lets us paint directly onto our model. And you can see as I paint on this cube here that the UV map is being updated on the other side. The shading workspace is used to define the shading for the various aspects of our models. By way of example, if we look at this cube here, if I bring the roughness down, you can see the cube becomes more reflective. You'll also note that base colour has this line coming into it. These are called nodes, and these are used widely within Blender. This node is an image that's feeding colour data, so the colour of the image is being fed onto the base colour of my mesh. As I say, we'll cover this in more detail at a later date. The animation workspace is where we can do animating. The rendering workspace is a place where render results can be viewed and different aspects of the image, such as alpha channels, the red, green and blue values in an image. Compositing is a little bit like colour grading in film. It's adding different layers of colour adjustments, object layers, render layers. It's combining different elements essentially and fine-tuning how they look. Geometry nodes, this use nodes to generate geometry through mathematics essentially. And the last workplace is scripting, which is for Python programmers to write custom scripts.